YouTube. Get up-to-date news, sports, and business content at CVM TV News anytime, anywhere. Subscribe now to CVM TV News to see it happen.
Start saving for your golden years with a Sagicor Lifestyle Approved Retirement Scheme. The time by Sagicor Life is
7 o'clock.
And removing criminals and weapons from the streets. They have also released the names of 5 men wanted for serious crimes. More details in this report.
As at May 27, Clarendon recorded 31 murders and 30 shootings. Compared to last year, the latter has increased by over 15%, while murders are down by over 35%. Though not the worst compared to other police divisions, Superintendent Carlos Russell says an upsurge has been noted in recent weeks, adding his team will not relent in their pursuit of criminals.
On the 28th of this month, Intel-led operation, we would have seized 293 12-gauge cartridges in the Gimme Me Bit area.
A day later, a bag was seized with more illicit weapons.
2 9mm pistols were found. One is a P80 pistol. It was equipped with a magazine containing 14 9mm cartridges, and the other is a black Browning single-action pistol, which was equipped with a magazine containing 10 9mm rounds of ammunition.
The superintendent says that these operations will continue and warns criminals, including those migrating to the parish, that they will be apprehended.
Our officers, they are out in their numbers on the street, and if they are coming into Clarendon, they will be stopped and they will be dealt with according to law.
Adding to that, Deputy Superintendent Clifton Green, who oversees crime in Clarendon, says the police have identified 5 people believed to be connected to criminal activity in the parish. The men are Marco Vaughan, who is wanted for murder. Also wanted for murder is Kaim Rowe. Panif Broomfield is wanted for shooting with intent and robbery with aggravation. Dashel Miller is being sought for 2 counts of wounding with intent, and Shavane Smith is wanted for murder.
We would want to ask these persons to wisely turn themselves in, because we have re-intensified our efforts in trying to find them and others to ensure that the citizens of this parish and elsewhere are reassured and are kept safe.
Natalia Clark, CVM News.
Meanwhile, all categories of crimes in Westmoreland have increased since the start of the year. Law enforcement officials made the revelation this week while addressing stakeholders at a town hall in Negril. Nika Lewis reports.
Despite numerous attempts by the security forces to stem the wave of crime and violence in Westmoreland, the plague persists. On Thursday, Deputy Superintendent of Police Myrna Ferguson revealed that all categories of crime in the parish have been on the rise since the start of the year. A shock to some, but a confirmation to others, some of whom gathered for a town hall Thursday afternoon at Waves Negril.
Sad news today.
I spoke with Mr. Wilson earlier, and he was surprised to know that all categories of crime are up.
In Negril?
In Westmoreland. Also Negril. Negril accounts for 9 murders so far, and they're tied with Grangeville, where we are having the problems now. We see where home area have popped up, and those areas we have to have 24-hour presence.
At the heart of their concern is the growing number of unplanned settlements awash with citizens originating from other parishes, predominantly Clarendon, another troubled parish.
We are now in what we call a surge mode, and a lot of persons have seen where you have more police presence, more operations taking place. We are seeing some problems in the Negril area, and we can say that the area that is known as Little Haiti, that is the informal area in Whitehall, where we have settlement of persons from other parishes. I did an intervention about a year ago where we walked through that little community, and I also spoke with Mr. Wilson and Mr. Colley in respect of these persons living there, where among the over 100 persons living there, we only found 3 that are from Westmoreland.
Others flocking the space appear to be drawn to it for its prospects of home ownership in these settlements that experts have long linked to growing gangs and crime in numerous police divisions.
St. Catherine, Trelawney, everywhere that person comes from to work. And suffice it to say that within a week or 2, they are erecting some structure, or they are capturing a place that a person died or leave. And this is at the helm of the problem there, because everybody there is seeking to be landlords.
Nika Lewis, CVM News.
While murders, robberies and other grievous crimes continue to run rampant in Jamaica, the police are adamant that focus must also be placed on reducing minor crimes that people usually overlook. This acknowledgement has prompted stakeholders in St. Anne to launch public order operations. Natalia Clark tells us more.
Back to the basics. So says the Deputy Superintendent of Police, Rochelle McGibbon-Scott, as she explains the security forces in St. Anne will sustain public order enforcement operations across the parish.
This public order enforcement is really to go out there, and we call it going back to basic. So it's about dealing with the things that we consider to be, as a society, very minor.
That includes vending in prohibited spaces and public passenger vehicles that operate outside designated transport centers. At the launch of the operation in Ocho Rios on Friday, DSP McGibbon-Scott said the police were able to identify several sore points.
What we have been able to do thus far is to identify the major areas where we're having traffic congestion, the taxis not utilizing the park, and of course the areas where we have vending. So we went out, we initiated the different teams and dispatched them to the various areas.
The DSP is the Zone 2 commander responsible for Ocho Rios, but she says that St. Anne's Bay and Brownstown will also see similar sustained operations.
We have a responsibility as a team to ensure that we rid this space of all illegal activities relative to public order.
The officer shares that several delinquent people in the space were warned. Some served summonses and tickets were issued to transport operators found in breach. Natalia Clark, CVM News.
A similar agenda was observed in sections of St. Mary on Friday as well. Deputy Superintendent of Police Kevin Francis was in Port Maria town spearheading a public order and public safety operation. He shares some of the day's highlights.
The JCF St. Mary team has prosecuted, in terms of road traffic breaches, over 86 persons for various breaches of the Road Traffic Act. At least 6 persons were arrested for various offences, and other minor offences that we continue to ignore over time. We have also engaged our partners, our stakeholders, such as NEPA. We have engaged National Solid Waste Management Authority. We have also engaged the Public Health Department and the St. Mary Municipal Corporation, where we have carried out a joint initiative with a view to make St. Mary and to make Port Maria safe again.
DSP Francis says some of the breaches include selling fruits and food items without a food handler's permit and selling in prohibited spaces. He reminds, although these operations may result in some people being displaced, they are being conducted for the greater good.
We want to reassure members of the public here in Port Maria that we are not here to oppress you. We are here to ensure your safety. So the vendors who may be disenfranchised, we want you to know that when you block the sidewalks, persons have to walk in the roadway, which becomes a safety issue. Let us cooperate with the police. We are able to facilitate and we are able to have dialogue.
Opposition spokesperson on regional and foreign affairs, Dr. Angela Brown-Burke, is urging the government to broaden the discussion on racial discrimination amid issues of alleged racism and classism in the country. This as she tackles concerns around Jamaica allegedly indicating there were no indigenous groups here. Dr. Brown-Burke insists Maroons and Rastafarians are exactly that. More in this report.
A Jamaica for all Jamaicans should be the ultimate goal, so says the opposition's Dr. Angela Brown-Burke as she made her sectoral presentation in the Parliament just days ago. Under the theme, "The time is now for a new direction in regional and current affairs," the opposition member contends the time has come to end all forms of racial discrimination.
As a country with such diversity as we have, we must continue to create a Jamaica for all Jamaicans, at home and abroad. Further, we must heed the call, Mr. Speaker, of the International Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination to broaden the definition of racial discrimination in our Constitution and other legislations to include direct and indirect racial discrimination as we seek to tackle long-standing issues of classism and colorism in Jamaica.
She insists the time is now to have the discussion without, quote, weaponizing the issue of race.
When I hear some of the comments coming from ministers of government, it is clear to me that there has been no discussion at Cabinet around the issue of broadening the definition of racial discrimination and the violation that is being created. Nobody discriminated. Nobody discriminated. I stand resolutely, Mr. Speaker. Nobody discriminated.
Oh, you know what you're talking about.
There was no discrimination. Mr. Speaker.
Her remarks left the opposition members charged as she dug deeper into international guidelines.
I stand resolutely in defense of the inalienable right of every Jamaican, whether it is the member from East Central St. Catherine or the member from South St. Andrew, and I say, or West Rural St. Andrew, and I say to every single one of them that they can depend on me to reject any attempt, and here I quote, at nullifying or impairing the recognition, enjoyment, or exercise on an equal footing of human rights and fundamental freedoms of political, economic, social, cultural, or any other field in public life.
She reminds this is an oath, adding it's also in keeping with international obligations for the elimination of racial discrimination. Nika Lewis, CVM News.
We take a break. CVM News at 7 continues in a moment.
Public Events, we believe that every love story deserves a grand celebration, and so we invite you to be a part of this unforgettable experience. Whether you're saying I do for the first time or renewing your vows, MSW Events knows how to turn your special day into a truly unforgettable experience.
Fitness, brought to you by You'll Play and Nature Valley.
Welcome back. As China continues to build its strategic partnership with Jamaica, it has sought to invest in much-needed infrastructural projects on the island. Speaking at a media briefing earlier this week, the Chinese ambassador to Jamaica provided an update on the Western Children and Adolescent Hospital being built in St. James. The $40 million state-of-the-art hospital will serve as the only children's hospital in Western Jamaica, and it's said to be on course for completion by 2025.
In the first half of 2025, the whole buildings could be completed. Once completed, it will be the largest children's hospital, and it will greatly increase the benefits for the women and children in this area. I firmly believe this will yet be another landmark project between China and Jamaica and be a great symbol of China-Jamaica friendship.
A look now at regional and international news.
We begin with news in the region. There are high hopes that small island developing states will benefit significantly from a groundbreaking document unanimously adopted at the SIDS4 conference in Antigua and Barbuda. With more, here's ABS TV News.
Small island developing states, or SIDS, have long been on the front lines of climate change. Today, they're armed with a new weapon in their fight: the Antigua and Barbuda Agenda for SIDS, or ABAS. This 5-chapter document, officially adopted Thursday, is being seen as a game changer. Chair of the Alliance of Small Island States, Ambassador Pauleli Luteru, says it marks a shift from simply stating challenges to taking concrete action.
But I think what brings us together are certain issues that are of concern. And these are not new issues. Let me make that very clear. And if I can start with climate change, for example, that is our #1 priority at the moment. Because I think when you look at the small island developing states, without question, they are at the forefront of the adverse impact of climate change.
Still in the region, tens of thousands of refugees and Caribbean migrants now want to make Mexico their new home. However, obtaining permits remains challenging due to government policies, highlighting a reluctance to fully embrace this migration trend that could benefit both locals and newcomers. Here's Al Jazeera.
Scores of undocumented migrants and refugees crossing into Chiapas from neighboring Guatemala. They're just some of the roughly 7,000 arrivals in Mexico every day on their way to the U.S. border. As they make their way north, many are penniless. Silvia, a Honduran, says that she and her Haitian boyfriend have been living here for 3 months. Colbert Petit Frère arrived from Haiti 2 months ago and is working in a garage to save money to continue his trip.
I came here and learned new things as a mechanic, but I am only here temporarily.
Tláhuac, on the outskirts of Mexico City, is full of Haitians doing what they can to survive, selling food or braiding hair and trimming beards. But not all want to leave, like Milton.
I would stay here if I got the papers. I was living in Chile for years, but I never got my papers.
In international news, the South African party ANC, once led by Nelson Mandela, has been hit with its worst election results since apartheid ended 30 years ago. With results from 99% of voting districts declared, the ANC has 40%. This is a steep fall since the last election when it got 57%, and it means it will have to share power with one or more parties. ANC leaders are preparing for complex coalition talks. The latest from the BBC.
So I don't think we're going to have too many surprises between 99% and 100%. We pretty much know the landscape, which shows that the African National Congress has definitely lost its absolute majority, as you mentioned, its unrivaled political power that it's held since apartheid, but it's done worse than expected. It's showing to come in at around 40% of the vote. Now those results aren't official. They're actually not going to be declared officially today, probably tomorrow, Sunday, but they're unlikely to change. So I think this is very much being seen as a verdict of South Africans who are fed up, who want change, who are punishing the African National Congress for years of economic mismanagement and corruption scandals. Add to that this new party, the MK party, led by the former President Jacob Zuma, which has had a surprisingly strong showing and has really eaten into a lot of the ANC support. So the results of that are not very good for this party, the former liberation movement.
That's it for regional and international news. I'm Nika Lewis.
We're taking a quick break now, but stay with us. Inspire Jamaica is next.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Copa America 2024 is coming to you this summer, right here on CVM TV. That's right, you get big-side access from the comfort of your home so you can catch all the live action. Tune in and watch as Brazil, Argentina, Jamaica, USA, and more battle for Copa Supremacy. Tournament kicks off on June 20 and runs through to July 14. Cheer on the boys and see the goals and drama of Copa America happen live on CVM TV.
Our days get a little complex sometimes. Often so many things make sense, yet so many do not. We are being intentional about giving prominence to the big stories in order to clarify and enlighten. Lead Story explains who, what, when, where, why, and how. Lead Story with George Davis, weekdays at 6:30 p.m. on CVM TV.
Welcome back. This week, a concept that's good to grow happiness, especially because it spontaneously picks on 60 individuals. For Inspire Jamaica, however, there was an added flavor handpicked. Carlin Brown explains.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can.
Dairy Industries Jamaica Limited celebrates 60 years this year. April 23 was our anniversary date, our birthday. And so we have taken on this initiative to commemorate the 60 years that we have been here to do 60 acts of kindness.
For the month of May, the company that prides itself as a producer of high-quality dairy products shifted its plans to another level. Through Inspire Jamaica, a child was identified to be celebrated for impacting the lives of others through bravery, courage, and positivity. Of course, we ensured the thought of one simple act of kindness was multiplied.
Let's do this!
When the Good to Grow team and a production crew invaded the grades 2 at the St. Benedict's Primary School, the close to 50 little ones had no idea why these strangers had changed the mood inside their classroom. No longer were their teachers in charge, but they were being engaged in a session on the importance of dairy, a good source of protein, calcium, and vitamins, etc. Then came the fun part. Sampling a family favorite yogurt. Well, strawberry reigned as a kid's favorite, but the cotton candy and the melon berry burst were also a good creamy mustache. When they took the activities outdoors, Kamoy Blessings Williams was the last to join the group for obvious reasons. But that didn't matter to her. What mattered was she could access her wheelchair by herself, and she got there. Her story then began to unfold.
And as Michael Jackson said, heal the world, make this a better place for you and for me and for the entire human race. We need to show love, and love tear down any boundaries at all.
So, Kamoy, on behalf of Dairy Industries, Jamaica Limited, we would like to present you with this token.
With this significant seed now planted, both the receiver and the givers reaped because of a social connection.
My name is Andre Rattigan, the owner of Commercial Concepts. What this project has done for me today is to just remind me that we should not complain. We should be grateful for what we have. Be grateful for what we don't have, because it teaches us to remember and be appreciative of what we do have. So this has just been another eye-opener for me to go back home to remind my children that, listen, give thanks for what you have, don't complain.
This was very inspiring. She brought me to tears, which is very unusual. She's very mature, and I have a lot of wisdom, and she spread a lot of love.
Thank you for supporting me so much. I love you all.
Awesome. And we love you. We love you too.
I love you more.
I've always watched this program, and I've always said that we need more of this program in the country, because we are at a state in our country where it seems like socially we are falling apart, especially with the crime and violence, and we need to inspire our young people to move forward.
And that's why we say, let's continue
to inspire Jamaica.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can.
Yeah.
Fitness, brought to you by You'll Play and Nature Valley.
I'm Tara Renee from Le Champ Cosmetics, Jamaica's only vegan organic makeup brand. We are the exclusive makeup sponsors for this year's MSW events 14-14-14 Mask Wedding. Our talented team of makeup artists will be providing complimentary bridal makeup services for all brides, and we're so excited. So, if you have a wedding coming up, you can find us at Le Champ